Welcome back to another episode of The Big Build in Transport Fever. I'm Tech Hench, and in today's episode we're going to continue with the race track that we started in the last episode. Apologies there was no episode last week. I've been super busy over the last couple of weeks and just didn't have time to finish it off. So we're going to complete the racetrack today. It doesn't quite end up turning out quite as good as I was hoping to, but hopefully you still enjoyed the episode. This is going to be the penultimate episode as well for The Big Build, so there's going to be a grand finale next week, which I'm probably going to just show off everything in the big build next week. So make sure you get subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss that episode. I've been working on this map for about 9 months now, and I kind of feel that I've done as much as I can on it. Hopefully if you've been following along, you've seen my building has improved quite a bit, taking all them techniques that I've learnt over the last few months into my next build when I start it. Probably not going to start another build just yet, probably just have a few weeks break from Transport Fever. I am really looking forward to the update that's coming out in, I think it was summer, so hopefully that's not too far away. Don't really want to start a build either and then halfway through it have to start again because the new updates come out and it's broken half the mods. It is looking like so far that there's going to be quite a few changes in that update, so I am really looking forward to it. You never know if any of the developers have seen any of my videos. They might have picked up one or two suggestions that I've made. I doubt it, but you never know. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the racetrack that I'm creating. What I'm trying to do is make it the same or look the same as Silverstone. So I'm not 100% sure which version of the Silverstone track it is. I think it's definitely the one that they use in the Formula 1, I believe. I'm not 100% sure what it's called. If you do know, drop it down in the comments. They changed Silverstone a few years ago, so since I last went, it's not the same. I think it's the track's a lot bigger. One thing I'm not going to be able to do is add some of the grandstands in and things like that, and the stands where spectators go, just because we don't have that. We don't have a model, I don't think, but we certainly don't want to have one in the standard vanilla game, and I can't find one on the store, so it doesn't look like anyone's created one. Again, if you do know of one, please drop it down in the comments below, and I will go back and add them in. So what I wanted to do is, as you can see, is just do the track as it is there. What I'm going to do is do a little bit of detail inside the infield, and just kind of at the entrance of the track, have like a little area where teams and things like that would go and take their cars and things like that. I don't think that bit is going to be exactly the same as what Silverstone is, but I think it should still look pretty cool. So as crash barriers, I'm just going to use the fencing tool that already has a crash barrier. So I'm going to do a crash barrier around the bits that you would expect a crash barrier to be on the outside. And then I think on the inside of the track, I'm just going to put a barrier all the way around inside. On the infield normally, or I think at Silverstone there is on the infield buildings and things like that, so I'm going to add some buildings inside it. I think on the infield actually there is a smaller track as well at Silverstone. I'm not sure what it's used for, but I certainly know it's there. Like I say, it's quite a few years since I last went to Silverstone. It has changed quite a lot. So I am putting tarmac, as you can see, all the way around. What I am going to come back and do is actually come back and add gravel, because Silverstone doesn't actually have tarmac all the way around like some of the other circuits around the world that are completely tarmac and don't have kind of gravel traps and things like that. Silverstone certainly used to, I think it still does. And we're going to put a big grass area in the middle as well. So to get to the infield, what I'm going to have to do is put some sort of tunnel under the track. So if I remember rightly, Silverstone in real life has actually got a bridge over somewhere, or part of the track, so you can get into the infield. May have a tunnel as well, I can't quite remember. But when I try to do, or you might see me later on try and do a bridge, didn't work very well. Because the bridges are huge, it was kind of far too big to go over this track, so yeah, thought it looked much cleaner. So as you can see now, just putting some gravel around, just so if any of the cars went off or anything like that, they wouldn't go smashing into the barriers at high speed. So I know down the bit where I'm going to put the garages and things like that, that's kind of where, I think opposite, there is a stand where spectators can go and sit. I think that's where the pits and things like that are nowadays. What I might actually do, which I've not actually done, is see if there's any race cars on the store, on the workshop. Just so I can add a few of them around the track, because that'd be pretty cool. So I am going to put grass that has been cut around the edges, just so it looks like it's been maintained. What I was going to do at the front just here was put some sort of pond. But because this is actually elevated in the air quite a bit, although you can't actually tell from the video, to dig down to the water is it makes it quite deep and makes the sides of the pond really steep. So this is going to be the entrance here to the track area and the kind of paddock area. So what I'm going to end up doing around the edge of these bits, I won't do it straight away, but you'll see me later on in the video come back and do it, is just put hedges right the way down that stretch of road. And so the underpass to the central bit of the track is connected, I'm going to put a road as well, just around the outside part of it. So I'm just placing these buildings down as kind of buildings where teams would go and things like that. Kind of have the race control over here you would have and stuff like that. So these actually work, or this building here works really well as a garage, because it's got a proper garage door, as you would expect at a racetrack. So I'm going to put plenty of them in. And then just a little area so the cars can pull in if they need to. So later on I'm going to come back and change just this little bit here that I'm doing here, just because it's probably a little bit close to the track, as you can see there. Building probably didn't really make sense. This building here was actually looked quite interesting because I think it probably does have a garage on. Is it that one? Yeah, so one of the buildings I'm going to place in a minute just has a garage door on. It kind of looks like an emergency services building, that one there. So it's got a garage door, and could be something where you could keep a fire engine or ambulance or something like that. These are the buildings just around as kind of administration buildings and things like that. What I'm not sure about at Silverstone, if there's actually a car garage or something like that. I know at some of the tracks they do have proper car garages where you can go and buy cars and things like that. Also, I know there's some of the racing teams have proper buildings there, so if they go and want to do testing and stuff, they've already got facilities there. So I also know this side of the track here has also got, in real life anyway, has got spectator stands. So there would be a row of spectator stands that go down there. I think actually in the middle, there's certainly hospitality areas in the middle in real life. Whether there's a hotel, I'm not 100% sure. So this is just going to close all this area off and just make it into different areas. What you normally find at these places like Silverstone is that they have areas where spectators can go and walk around, but then they have closed off areas where it's the teams only. So they'll only let you get up to see so much. Certainly when the Formula One's there, they won't let you around anything. Certainly won't let you hear any of the drivers or anything like that. But when they're smaller events, you normally can go and look around the cars and things like that. Certainly would recommend a trip to Silverstone if you've never been before. It is a huge place. Certainly if you ever want to go and see the Formula One, it's quite good. Although, like I say, I've not been for quite a few years. It's super expensive nowadays, so... So we just have more hedges around here. So I mean, I'm going to put like a security hill here. So this will be a part where you can actually get onto the track, but you wouldn't want people just wandering onto the track or cars just driving onto the track. So there's going to be a security hut with a barrier at 2 points. So there's a point there that I'm going to put one in, and there's a point a bit further up that you will see me do in a second. Just kind of there. So there's going to be another hut there with a barrier. So I'm going to go with all the modern buildings around here. I'm not 100% sure if they are all modern buildings around this part of Silverstone, or if there's kind of some more historic buildings. I kind of quite like the modern buildings, so I'm just going to go with them, to be honest. They look pretty good. One thing I think I am going to do, so the next build that I eventually move on to, is probably do more of an old-fashioned map, and maybe just leave it in something like, or pre-1900, I think. I have been playing Red Dead Redemption just recently. In fact, probably 2 or 3 months ago that I finished it. I did really kind of enjoy that area, so I think what I'm going to do is possibly do some sort of map from that sort of area in Transport Fever. Well, I'm not sure yet though on what type of map I'm going to do. So I know you can do, this one's actually the tropical map that I'm using here. Probably don't want to use that one again. Maybe do more of a desert type map. I think that would be quite interesting. What I'm going to do as well is have a much smaller map. On this map, it's the largest map that you can actually have in the game. It's the Megalomaniac test maps that you can have, which is really good if you want to do a huge build like this. The only slight problem is, one, it makes your computer go extremely slow, and the second is when you're actually doing detailing, you end up with huge gaps between each area that you've worked on. So I think if I do one that is a lot smaller, but then I should be able to update up the detail for each thing that I'm going to build. So as you can see here, I'm just putting, or giving the bridges a bit of a try. Doesn't really work. And just go to the tunnels, which seems to work much better. So if you do know of a map anyway, like I say for my next build, if there's one on the store or something like that that you would like to see me have a go at building on, please drop it in the comments below. If there's one that already looks really good, then it just saves me building the map myself. What I probably am going to do as well is, instead of putting down the industries, or leaving the industries where they are and then just building to them, is literally create the map and then delete everything off the map. So all the roads, all the cities and towns, and any industries and things like that, and then just go and place them back on individually in the places that I want them to be. So then I can probably have one type of industry up the top of one end of the map. I think then by doing it that way, I should be able to make it a little bit, or make everything make a bit more sense. Because of the time period as well, a lot of the trains are really slow, so and you don't have, I think most of them are actually horse and cart still, so I don't want things to be travelling miles up and down the map, taking forever to get delivered. So if I put the industries a bit closer together, it just makes a lot more sense. I probably will be working in the same mode as I am now, so I'll have unlimited money. I know when you very first start off, it can be difficult early on to make enough money to do anything, so if I just play in sandbox mode, I don't have to worry about that, which is good. If I'm doing terrain modification as well, that can cost a huge amount of money, so by playing the game properly, there's probably no chance of me doing proper terrain stuff, so I was certainly playing in sandbox mode. So as you can see here, I'm just placing, or wanted to place this somewhere. Not actually sure if I do end up doing it. It does look like the kind of thing you would have somewhere on a racetrack, so it looked quite good. I am going to put various vehicles around as well, so trucks, and I think I end up putting buses around as well. So you would normally have buses around this place for people that are coming to watch and spectate. One thing I don't think I have is coaches, so it would have been good to have a coach model. Thought the flags looked pretty cool as well. Shame you can't change this, what's on the flag on this flag that I've got. I think it's just basically a transport flag. If we could have something where you could edit the flag, that would be really good. I hope it's all these little type of things that in the next update they add some of them in, because it would be really cool to get a lot of the mods that we've got as proper inbuilt game kind of stuff. So yeah, just added some bus there, as you can see. So there's certain mods that I use quite a lot. So the terrain one is one of them. The better terrain tools. I really hope they do improve the terrain tools. Something like the fencing mod as well that I do use quite a lot would be nice. Not sure if they will add that in though. But to be honest, the mod that we've got for that is actually really good. So just add a few parked cars, which you've seen me do many times before on this build if you've been keeping up. A few vans as well, so it feels like there would be quite a few vans and trucks and things like that just around everywhere, just to help the whole circuit run. What I'm going to do once I've finished placing these vehicles around and the lorries and all that kind of stuff, is probably just go around the edge of the track and just add some trees and things like that. At the minute, it kind of just looks like it's plonked down in the middle of nowhere. I think what there probably would be, or I'm not sure if there is at Silverstone, but I think just to tie it all in is just to put some bushes like you can see there, and just some trees around the outside, just so it makes it kind of all just tie into the map a little bit nicer. That's one thing I would like to see a lot more of, is trees and bushes and plants and all that kind of stuff. But you can really make an area look quite nice and good with trees and plants and things like that and flowers. So I really do hope they improve that in the update that's coming out. Again, I'm not sure if they will, but it would be really nice to have more options in that area. So there was a few trees just a bit further down from the on the map anyway, so just kind of link all them up together. And then I'm going to put a barrier all the way around outside. So this barrier that I'm using here is quite useful for that. Just so people can't just wander in the circuit. You have to come through the main entrance and through the security gates. So just to finish that area off and make it a little bit nicer, just to put a few more trees down there and around the entrance. One thing I really do wish that I could add in is a sign at the front of the entrance. Unfortunately, there's not really one that works very well, so I'm just going to leave that off for now. And that's the race truck pretty much finished. So let's jump into a flyover in a second. And that's this week's episode. So thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you get subscribed so you don't miss the final episode of the big build. And if you've not seen my mods videos, why not go and check them out? Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.